Many engineering businesses have invested heavily in ERP systems that provide excellent support for their project-based consultancy processes. But what happens when you have a division or subsidiary that manufactures, builds, or assembles engineered products? Welcome to the FMIS Guide to Optimizing Production Processes for Engineering Firms. This guide will give you the tools to optimize production efficiency, to cut production costs, link production activities to projects, and reduce costly workarounds. In this video, we'll look at the 4 key phases in optimizing production for your firm. For more resources and to download the full guide, visit fmis.co.uk/resources. Because many engineering firms are primarily professional services based, optimizing production will require a very different approach to most other areas of the business. In addition, the production process for engineering firms will differ greatly from typical batch or flow manufacturing processes. Optimizing your production process will require you to focus on 4 separate areas. In the guide, we look at each of these in turn. The first phase is the product phase, where we define the products that you need to support your sales, buying, build, and stock processes. The second phase is the order phase, where we define the workflows, sales quotes, sales orders, and purchase orders needed to support production. Thirdly, we have a look at the build phase. During the build phase, we deal with stock replenishment and demand to generate the relevant production work orders required. Finally, the 4th stage is the accounting stage. At this point, we generate the accounting transactions for accounts payable, stock, work in progress, and sales invoices. The product phase. One significant difference between engineering and other types of manufacturing or fabrication is its relative complexity. The materials purchased, production processes, and the final product are seldom simple or standardized. For these reasons, designing and managing your product catalog needs to focus on flexibility rather than volume. The guide gives 3 main focus points. Firstly, make sure that you have the ability to set up new product lines quickly at any point, so that you can easily add materials to your product that you haven't used before. Secondly, build in flexible fulfillment from either stock in hand or via purchase order for production work orders. And thirdly, ensure that your planned processes will have the ability to support the most complex kits and BOMs required for your projects. The order processing phase. Effectively managing orders at each stage from quote to dispatch is essential in optimizing any type of production. The guide covers 4 separate elements in this phase. First, the quote stage. Secondly, orders. Thirdly, RFQs. And finally, dispatch. Optimizing the order processing phase for engineering is all about building a synergy between these different elements. Sales quotes. In many cases, quotes are still generated manually. They're pulled together by engineers using Excel or similar tools. And the problem here is that there's no flow through to the production process. So your first task is to integrate quotes into your production system. Sales orders. Once a quote is approved, it will normally generate some form of sales order. In an integrated system, this becomes the engine for production. The order drives demand and links the various elements together, including materials and production work orders. RFQs are an excellent tool for collecting product delivery and price information for purchasing. But again, they need to be linked back to the product catalog to optimize their efficiency. And finally, dispatch. Engineering projects may have a range of different fulfillment and shipping options. For example, in delivering a wind turbine, some components may be shipped to the production facility, some to a subcontractor, and some directly to the client. Your fulfillment processes may need to be flexible enough to handle multiple methods in one order. The build phase. The third element to optimize in the production process is the build phase. As with the first 2 stages, engineering production is usually more complicated than batch production, so you need to build for flexibility here. Production work orders are central to this phase and to the whole production process, but like quotes and sales orders before them, these are often handled manually. Manual work orders require duplication of effort and have no way to automatically reflect the inevitable changes that will occur during the project. Stock control. The impact of stock control on your project will vary from project to project. If you carry materials, it's important that replenishment is not overlooked. In a recent example, production of subsea ROVs worth £500,000 was delayed due to a simple lack of bolts. The bolts were cheap and easy to source, but without an effective replenishment process, the company simply didn't have enough of them when they were needed. Your stock control processes need to be linked to both the demand and stock levels, ideally with automated notifications and reorders when minimum stock levels are reached. The accounting phase. The final phase is the accounting phase. Optimizing engineering production depends on having access to the right information when it's required, and then having the processes to make the changes based on that information. In the first three phases, we looked at optimizing the production processes using operational data, such as stock levels and demand profiles. In the accounting phase, optimization is about effectively distributing information beyond that production unit to other parts of the business. The biggest optimizations in this phase are gained through integration. And planning for and finance integration for production should include at least the following areas: accounts payable, accounts receivable, and posting of general ledger journals. As you've seen here, optimizing production for engineering firms requires processes and systems that are not really found in either professional services or more traditional manufacturing settings. For more information and other resources, download the full guide at fmis.co.uk/resources. Or to find out more about how the FMIS system can help you to optimize production for your firm, you can get in touch using the details below.